Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Full Force episode. We're going to be doing 5 color in Eternal Masters this week. This is an interesting episode because this is one of the few archetypes that I think that in a way you almost have to force to get into. I don't necessarily think that's always a bad idea either. You've got to know fairly early on, though, that you're going to be wanting to grab a bunch of the tap lands that give you 2 colors, things like Abundant Growth, Civic Wayfinder, Pilgrim's Eye, and you're probably going to need to take them over much better picks, just because you desperately need to get all of your colors of land and make sure that you're fixing. Now, that's going to make some interesting choices in this draft. So, right here, one of the things that's good to do if you're going 5 colors is obviously Hondens. So I could grab Honden of Night's Reach. There are some other really good options. There's Pacifism, which is one of the better removal spells. There's also 2 tap lands and an Abundant Growth, so some decent mana fixing here. I think I can wheel one of those, and I think I'd rather take one of the more powerful spells here. I do want to value fixing very highly, but I think that I'd rather skip it out this time just because there are 3 options here, and I should wheel one of them. Third option is Maze of Ith. I like Honden Pacifism, and I think Maze of Ith is the also in the top 3, and I'm not sure which of these I want the most. Maze of Ith is a land that doesn't really count as a land. It's really good in a slower deck, so it might be fine here. I'm tempted to just take the Honden, because Honden is kind of the #1 thing to do in 5 color. Flame Jab is normally very powerful, but when you're doing 5 colors, you're not going to get a lot of like red mana, and you really need to have multiple activations of it for it to be really good, so I don't like it as much here. Now here we have Deep Analysis, Gravedigger, and really nothing else. We've got no mana fixing. There's Silent Departure as well, I suppose, but I think I'd much rather have a Deep Analysis. And I think that Deep Analysis is the pick. I want to be able to draw a lot of cards so we can find our mana fixing and so that we can draw other more powerful cards. The big thing of doing 5 colors is that you're going to be able to play with the most powerful cards in the format. That should be the point, is that you get to play with all of the most powerful spells. So if you don't have ways to, do that, and you don't have the most powerful spells, then you're probably doing 5 colors wrong. You need to take really, really, really powerful things when you're not taking fixing. And I think that draw actually counts as that, because if the card quality of our deck is going to be a lot of bombs, then drawing extra ones is nice. And like I said, even just card draw helps fix mana. If you're stuck waiting for, your single swamp in your deck, getting a card draw spell is pretty helpful. Now, this is one of those interesting picks like I talked about. Harmonize is cool, and drawing is great, like I said, but it is also 2 colors, and there's an Abundant Growth that fixes mana. It also draws us a card, too, so I think that this time we just take the Abundant Growth and ignore the Harmonize. Harmonize would be great, and I probably will end up being base green if I do this properly, because green has more mana fixing. You get Civic Wayfinders and Abundant Growth. But I just think that right now I don't really have a way to cast a bunch of different colors of cards, and Abundant Growth is going to let me do that. I need to make sure that I pick them early, because if I wait until I pick them late, I'm going to end up with a deck that has to pass some very powerful things at the end just to pick up some very, very weak mana fixing, and might not even get all the mana fixing that it needs. We have Tranquil Cove, Blossoming Sands. Una's Grace is fine. I think that we just take the Blossoming Sands. It's too bad. I'd rather have like a green-black or green-blue or something right now. I'm going to try for 5 color, but it's also possible that we only end up in 4 just because of the way the draft actually goes. We might just not have any powerful red cards passed to us or any powerful black cards or something. I think we just take the Blossoming Sands. I'm almost for sure going to be green if I'm going 5 colors, and then I got a little bit of a splash off of that. It seems fine. Either one of those is very close. I'm not sure which one's better. They're very similar. Let's see what we get for our next pick. Some more mana fixing wouldn't be bad. I'd love to get a Pilgrim's Eye or a Civic Wayfinder. Those are some of our top picks here. Another Honden would be good at some point too. We've got Civic Wayfinder, Phyrexian Ingester. Ingester's great, but I think that I need the Wayfinder. So like I was saying before, the problem is if you don't take like Wayfinders early, and if you're going to do this style of deck, you might end up in a pick where, like right now, I can take in Jester over Civic Wayfinder. And Jester's like, say, an 8 out of 10, right, for a card. And Civic Wayfinder's like a 6 out of 10. And it's like, well, I don't want to take the 6 out of 10. I want to take the 8 out of 10. But if I do that all the time, I'm going to end up at a point where I'm like, oh man, I really need mana fixing. And then I might just grab, like, I might get a pack that has, say, a 4th Honden that I need or something, like a Honden of Infinite Rage, and it's like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 in our deck. And the other card is like, you know, a Windscarred Crag, which is like 5 out of 10 or something for our deck at the time. Well, I have to take the 5 out of 10 because I just need the mana fixing. I have to have it. So I miss out on a 10 out of 10 pick just to take a 5 out of 10. And so I end up with an 8 out of 10 and a 5 out of 10 instead of like a 6 out of 10 and a 10 out of 10. And my deck is just a much worse deck. Like suddenly it's like, okay, well I got 13 points instead of 16 points or whatever in that kind of calculation, as it were. This is very interesting. So I like Windscarred Crag because I do need the colors if I'm going 5 color, but Factor Fiction is just kind of amazing. And I don't have any reason to be red-white yet. I should probably take them though. I feel like one of the Windscarred Crags will wheel since there's 2 of them in this pack. I'm going to take one spec pick there and take the Factor Fiction, just because Factor Fiction is so powerful. Now I've got Scoured Barrens and Blossoming Sands again. I think I'll take the Scoured Barrens. Knight's Whisper wouldn't be bad. I would not mind more card draw. Nord Twisted Abomination. It is mana fixing as well. That actually is a pretty reasonable pick instead of Scoured Barrens even. I might just want that. Like I said, it does fix mana if I need it. No, this is a close one. You know, I'm going to take a Twisted Abomination, actually. It does fix the mana anyways. Ooh, Dismal Backwater and Jungle Hollow. These are perfect. Let's take a Dismal Backwater, I think. Ooh, and Abundant Growth number 2. I'll take 2 Abundant Growths over another tap land. I like the idea of just being able to cycle these and draw extra cards. It's kind of sweet. Peregrine Drake or Twisted Abomination number 2 wouldn't be bad. But yeah, I can get too many tap lands as well. I want a lot of them, but too many of them does make your deck too slow. Like, you're probably topped out around 8 or something for tap lands. Maybe a little bit less. I don't think you can probably have any more. Cephalid Sage, Dream Twist. Monk Idealist does get back Abundant Growth, and maybe I get another enchantment or 2. I do have a Honden of Night's Reach, so it's possible I could play other ones. Hydroblast is decent sideboard. Commune with the Gods, Una's Grace. I feel like Commune with the Gods could be okay if I have a bunch of Hondens, so I'll take that. Like, 5 color, like I said, one of the most powerful things you can do in 5 color is just grab all the Hondens, and I'd like to try that. Didn't wheel any of the tap lands, which is unfortunate. But we do have double Abundant Growth and a Civic Wayfinder, so that's a really good start already. So, like, we have, what, 5 pieces of mana fixing? 2 tap lands, 2 Abundant Growths, and the Civic Wayfinder. Yeah, we're doing pretty good, actually. For a first pack, 5 pieces is quite nice. I don't think that we're going to want to end up with anywhere near, like, 15, so taking 5 in the first pack, a little bit weighted more heavily towards fixing in the first pack, seems pretty good to me. Trigon Predator is pretty powerful. There's no red cards that I care about, there's no white cards that I care about, there's nothing, like, particularly powerful there. Future Sight's good, but it's also 3 blue, and that seems very hard to do if I'm trying to be a bunch of colors. So I think that we just take Trigon Predator. Trigon Predator is also just quite strong. I certainly don't mind taking it. Mystical Tutor Foil. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Another Factor Fiction. Pilgrim's Eye for more mana fixing. Sorry about that. Pilgrim's Eye for more mana fixing. Firebolt. Sorry, I'm just kind of a bit of a dry throat there. I'm not sure if I want Pilgrim's Eye or Firebolt more. I don't have any removal yet, so Firebolt actually looks really good. Yeah, I think that this time I take the Firebolt. Another Firebolt, a Wonder, and nothing else. I really like Wonder, because in your graveyard it's just an insane beating. I have a fair number of flyers already, though. I really wish we could get another Honden or 2. I'll take the Firebolt. We just want to have a few removal spells, and Firebolt's a really efficient one. flashing it back's not the worst either. In this deck, actually, we would probably take a Burning Vengeance. We have Deep Analysis and double Firebolt already. That doesn't seem bad. Another Firebolt or a Prodigal Sorcerer. That's a tough one. Prodigal Sorcerer is a house in this format. Like I said, there's so many things with 1 toughness, as I've said many, many times in all my other videos, that Prodigal Sorcerer is a lot better than it looks. And it always looks pretty decent. Firebolt or Prodigal? I do need some creatures. I think I'll take the Prodigal this time. I'm not finding any real white cards that I want to play. We do have 4 colors, though, already. We have double Firebolt, some black, some blue, some green. So, not bad for all of the different colors so far. Ooh, Serra Angel is something that I want to play. Double white's pretty tough, though. Might just be better to take Phyrexian Jester. Yeah, I think that we want the Ingester more. I really like Serra Angel, but Ingester's like as much of a house as Serra Angel, and it's only 1 blue instead of double white. White looks like it's going to be the lightest splash of all of our colors, so I don't really want to go too crazy there. And that's why I don't really want to take these either, is that I don't have any reason to want white that much yet, and I haven't seen a lot of cards that are really propelling me in the direction. Like, Serra Angel's the first indication that we've had that we might want something like that. Now we have Roar of the Worm, which is quite good. Gravedigger, which is fine. Mesa Enchantress actually isn't the worst, with double Abundant Growth. And a Honden. I think that we just take Roar of the Worm, though. I have Fact or Fiction to maybe get into the graveyard. I'd like to take some looting type effects if I can. Like, I would probably take a Faithless Looting at some point. Definitely would take a Merfolk Looter. I need some 2-drops, actually. Some Mana Elves or Prismatic Lens or something would be really good. I'll take Roar of the Worm and see what happens. And now we have... Ooh, Honden of Life's Web. Alright, second Honden. Slam. Oh man, if it wasn't for Honden of Life's Web, I'd absolutely take Coalition Honor Guard. It's a little bit easier to splash than like Serra Angel, and this card's really good. Things like Glare of Subdual are almost unbeatable in the format, except if your opponent has an Honor Guard in play. If they play Coalition Honor Guard into Glare of Subdual, you just totally shut down a bomb. And Coalition Honor Guard does a lot of shutting down. They can't play any kind of pump spells, they can't play any kind of removal spells. It just messes with every plan that your opponents have. And I will take one now. I'm very happy to get one. I'm surprised that it's going this late. I thought that people started to respect Honor Guard a little more, but maybe not. The card's fantastic. I'll take Swiftwater Cliffs here. We already have a Dismal Backwater. I want to kind of have as many different kinds of splash lands as possible. It'll make things a bit better for our mana, I think. Now we have Commune with the Gods. I don't think I want Hookmaster. I might take the Commune. Like I said, I do have a fair number of enchantments. Double Abundant Growth, the 2 Hondens now. Squadron Hawk. It's not good for us, but I could just hate it. I could also just take Seal of Cleansing for the sideboard. Yeah, Seal of Cleansing seems better. It's good against us, because we have a lot of enchantments right now. And it's possibly good for us, because it's not unlikely that we come across somebody else who has, like, Pacifism and stuff, too. We did pass Pacifism in the first pack. Yeah, but my Enchantress can be a decent beater. It triggers off of your opponent's enchantments as well, and we do have, like I said, 4 enchantments already. It's not unreasonable. Take an Elite Vanguard. I'm worried about a really aggressive deck. An aggressive deck can just run us over before we really get all of our colors set up. This pack didn't go nearly as well for mana fixing. We still only have 7 sources. We got 5 in pack 1. We only picked up 2 here, which is pretty mediocre. Not what I want at all, but... I also didn't see a lot of good fixing. Now we have Thornwood Falls, which is decent. I also have a Llanowar Elf, though, and I might want that. I mean, I know that it's not really fixing, but I also need a way to get to, like, 3 mana and 3 and 4 mana really quickly, because I don't have any 2-drops, and that might be good. Maze of Ith is still very strong. This is a close one. Llanowar Elves, Maze of Ith. I like Maze a lot. We do have the double Honden, so we can kind of stall out for a long time and try to win a long game. Like, we have a lot of late long game type cards, so Maze of Ith does help us that way. I don't know. This is a close one. Llanowar Elves also helps us get to the late game. So, like, that's just close. I think that we take the Llanowar Elf. I think we take that. Hopefully the Abundant Growth Wheels. Although, well, I don't know. I'm not sure that I can play 3. I need the fixing, but 3 Abundant Growth seems like a lot. I'd love a Honden of Cleansing Fire, because the white Honden just makes you very hard to kill. Ooh, I said I would take Merfolk Looter, and I will not be made a liar. Civic Wayfinder and Werebear would both be very good, but I think that I like Merfolk Looter even a little better. It can help you fix just by drawing you to the lands that you need, and you can just discard things that you don't need at the time, like you don't have colors for. I mean, just drawing extra cards is always so good. We already have Firebolt and Deep Analysis to get value off of it, same with Roar of the Worm. Like, we have a bunch of things that we can throw into the graveyard off of Merfolk Looter and be very happy with. Civic Wayfinder's maybe the next pick, but it's tough because there's also Werebear, which is something that helps me, again, jump mana, which is really nice. So either Wayfinder or Werebear, that'd be very close. I wouldn't fault anybody for taking a Civic Finder or a Werebear there. It might even be correct to take the Wayfinder. I mean, I'm going to need fixing. 7 sources isn't bad right now, though. Like, it seems decent. Another Swiftwater Cliffs. There's also Burning Vengeance. Would I play a Burning Vengeance? Kind of tempted. Like I said, I mean, I have 2 Firebolts. I have the Deep Analysis, and I have the Roar of the Worm. So I have 4 things to flashback now. I might be able to pick up as an Una's Grace. Maybe call the Skybreaker Wheels. Probably shouldn't, but it's possible. And if call the Skybreaker Wheels, that does work with Burning Vengeance. Although, I guess that if you call the Skybreaker, and you probably don't need to Burning Vengeance at that point. I feel like it's just safer to take Swiftwater Cliffs, because I'm going to need the fixing. As boring as that is. Yeah, we'll take the fixing here. Timberwatch Elf, which I don't need. A Jungle Hollow, which seems pretty good for me. There's also a Tragic Slip as decent removal, and yeah, so it looks like it'd be Jungle Hollow, Tragic Slip, maybe Urborg Uprising to draw some cards. I think that we'll just take the Jungle Hollow. Shaman of the Pack, Hymn to Tourach, Phyrexian Rager. Really good black and green cards in this pack. Lissalana. Yikes. In this pack, I think that we take the Rager. The double black for Hymn to Tourach just seems very hard for us to use. I love the card and I'd like to take it, but I think that Rager's just a little better. Just doesn't seem too likely that we're going to get the double black. We have a Windscarred Crag, a Sulfuric Vortex. Yeah, I don't think I can play that. Nausea. It's a decent sideboard card. Dragon Egg's good to block up the ground. Could take a Windscarred Crag, but honestly, I think I have enough red fixing now with double Swiftwater Cliffs and like the Wayfinder and Abundant Growth, so I don't think that I'm going to need very much red anymore. And I have Blossoming Sands and Scoured Barrens for our Coalition Honor Guard, which is our only white card. So I think we just take Dragon Egg. Avarax, Mystical Tutor. I don't know why I said Avarax. Mystical Tutor, Phantom Monster. Those are the cards that I think I want. Either Phantom Monster, maybe the Mystical Tutor. What would I have to get with Mystical Tutor? Yeah, nothing great. Factor Fiction, Deep Analysis. Like, those are fine, but they're not life-saving type cards. It's not like a Balance or something that just ends the game if you're in the correct board position. It's like the Phantom Monster. Ooh, Prismatic Lens. That's perfect for us. It's mana fixing and it's mana ramp, which I really desperately need. I need more ways to get up to like Roar of the Worm and Phyrexian Jester. I wish that we had another Honden. 2 Hondens is fine, I guess. Another Honden would be great, though. Another Abundant Growth or Thornwood Falls. I don't think I want Glimmerpoint Stag. Double green, double white seems way too tough for us to do. I think we would take the Thornwood. And then I've got Memory Lapse, Nausea, late Squadron Hawk for somebody. I feel like we might play that Commune. Maybe the Monk Idealist? I'm not sure. I guess I can take Memory Lapse. It's possible that I play the Memory Lapse. We have an Abundant Growth, again, or a Sentinel Spider. I think that with Lens, 2 Abundant Growth, Civic Wayfinder, and 7 tap lands we're more than good on fixing now, so I probably want the Sentinel Spider over the next Abundant Growth. And I don't think I really want Counterspell, because double blue's kind of tough. And Memory Lapse is not exactly what I'm looking for. Urborg Uprising, yeah, that's fine. Skulking Ghost, Innocent Blood, neither of these are great. I'll take Skulking Ghost as, like, flying blocker. Nausea for sideboard. And it looks like this is the deck. This deck is interesting. I don't think it's great. It's not terrible. We'll see what happens. I haven't really done a lot of 5-color drafts in this format, so I'm not sure if this deck is, like, good or miserable. We want probably one of each basic land for sure, just so that way we can actually find it with Civic Wayfinder. So this gives us 3 red sources, 3 white sources. Yeah, not including Abundant Growth or Prismatic Lens. Gives us 4, 5, 6, 7 green sources. Might need more than that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blue sources. Yeah, I think we can go the other way on that. For black, it gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 black sources. Yeah, that's more than enough, and especially with Twisted Abomination. So we can go 8, 7. I might even just go like 9, 6 for green, because we really need the green to be able to find the other colors. Blue is really important to us too. That's our second biggest color, but I mean, with Lens and the Abundant Growths and Wayfinder, hopefully we can get it off of that. I mean, it's technically 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 with Wayfinder. 7, 8. Kind of 9 with Prismatic Lens. So I'd say like probably more like 7.5, 8 sources of blue. I think that's okay. Alright, well, this is a very interesting deck. It should be fun to pilot. I hope that we can make it past round 1 or 2 here, and I will see you for the rounds. We'll find out in a minute. I'm going to shoot that. Opponent plays Wake Dancer, because they always play Wake Dancer. This is a really cool deck from our opponent. Nice little aggressive starts every game. Get the Haunted of Night's Reach. We take 4 damage from the Wake Dancer and the zombie, but I think we're okay with that, and we just play the Haunted of Life's Web, and then afterwards we can Sentinel Spider and we're just stable.